Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review Free Guy for you. It's the latest Ryan Reynolds movie where Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds. But, if you're good at something, you might as well keep doing it. And I do like Ryan Reynolds because he's a genuinely funny man. Everybody raves about Deadpool and how it's the most amazing thing ever, when really it's just Ryan Reynolds in a red suit. It's not really acting on his part. They are enjoyable, though. Ryan Reynolds does 90% of the time play the same character, but so do most actors. At least he is legitimately funny, though. Free Guy also stars Jodie Comer, who I was not familiar with before this movie, but I'm a big fan now. I need to look up some more stuff with her. She was very enjoyable in this film. As you saw from the trailer, Ryan Reynolds' buddy inside the game is Lil Ray Howery. Now, I only knew this guy from The Carmichael Show, which I'm bringing up again because that hasn't got very many views, and I just think it's a terrific show that everybody should watch. And that's where I got to know him, and he's all right. He's nothing special, but he's certainly nothing bad either. In fact, there is actually a couple really genuine moments that were very good with him and Ryan in this movie. Joe Keery, I wasn't familiar with him either. He does a solid job. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Utkarsh Ambudkar. He's really funny. I really enjoyed him too. And then, of course, you have Taika Waititi. And he does a good job, but that's a bad thing because his character is extremely unlikable. And so, he makes you hate him. I'd be surprised if you didn't hate this guy. The problem for me on a personal level is I don't like him in real life. He's a really big tool in my opinion, and definitely overpraised. And so watching a tool play a tool, I hate that phrase, tool. I'm going to do a diatribe on that one of these days. He plays a schmuck. How about that? He's a schmuck in real life, in my opinion, from interviews and Twitter posts and whatnot. So when he plays a schmuck, it feels too real. Yeah, that's just me. An important thing about this movie is that it was written by Zach Penn. He wrote Last Action Hero, and he was one of the creatives behind the story to Avengers, and he also adapted Ready Player One. So, there's some good work there. And it's directed by Sean Levy, who has directed the Night at the Museum trilogy, the 3 movies. And whether you love the movies or you don't, the direction is solid. They're fun little adventure movies. And he also directed Real Steel. So you've got quality in front of and behind the camera, and that's always a plus. There's also several cameos. Some of them are extended. I don't know if I'm going to spoil it or not. My attempt right now is to not spoil it. But I don't know how big a deal it is, but there's some voice cameos and there's some appearance cameos that made it a lot of fun. Now, the plot that I've read is that a bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal open world video game. But I don't find that accurate because he doesn't figure that out for over half the movie, actually. He just starts evolving on his own. And part of the motivation is the woman he sees in the game. But he's already started his awareness. It's not an awareness brought to him. He doesn't discover that and start doing his own thing. He just starts doing his own thing because this movie is an analogy for real life. How many of us get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up, and do it again and again and again. I mean, how many of us are NPCs in our real lives? How many of us want more, want to do more? I did. That's why I started this channel. And so that's what his character does. He just one day decides, I want to do something different. He starts noticing the monotony of his life. I do like the first trailer because the first trailer shows him just kind of coming into his own. Whereas the second trailer made it seem like Jodie Comer would give him the glasses and that would wake him up. And that's not at all how the movie goes. So that second trailer is really deceitful. Deceitful, miscommunicating anyways. I actually went to this just to have a few laughs because Ryan Reynolds in a comedy can almost always guarantee solid laughs. And I actually found this movie to be in and of itself a really solid film. Some people may recognize it as having connections to the original Tron, but it's not very much like the original Tron. The idea is there, but it's a very different movie. I laughed a lot, and I've read a couple personal reviews where people said there was no emotional heart, not to be deceived by reviews about that. And I strongly disagree. I think this movie, it didn't have a lot, but it wasn't supposed to. It's mostly supposed to be a fun film with laughs and pratfalls and outrageousness because it takes place in a video game world. But it did have heart. And there's no way to say if you didn't feel the movie had heart, there's no way to respond to that without being insulting. Now, if you say, I saw where it wanted to have heart, but it didn't connect with me, that I get. Not every joke connects. Not every tearjerker moment connects. That's fine. But to say the movie has no heart is quite frankly ignorant. The game itself also has cameos to other games, weapons, and automobiles, and so forth like that. So if you are a gamer, you might enjoy some of that. If you're not really going to miss anything. I was expecting, I think I just said this though, I was expecting just laughs, and I got more from it. And again, what I said earlier, one of the best moments actually comes when Ryan, I call him Ryan, I guess his name is Guy, but honestly, he's Ryan. I say that with love, but he's just Ryan Reynolds in this. He's Ryan Reynolds, the NPC. So Guy has a great moment towards the end of the movie with Lil Ray Howery, and it's a great moment. It's the kind of thing I wasn't expecting in the movie, and it's heartfelt, and it's nice, and it makes these kind of movies for me more enjoyable. If you don't go all in and try to have some great message or moment, but just a few moments of emotional connection makes them go further, in my opinion. I would say that this movie also made some intelligent decisions to not do what you absolutely expected it to do. As far as referring to Hollywood here, business, but there's multiple businesses. Sorry, I think out loud. But as far as the whole business goes with their subverting expectations and absolutely ruining movies and franchises, this movie subverts expectations beautifully. You have seen 100 movies similar to this, if not in a video game, but a sequence is happening and you think to yourself, I know exactly where this is going. And then it doesn't, but it makes sense. It's logical. It's not there just to surprise you. It's not there just to be a twist. They wrote it and they said, okay, I actually don't know if they did this. It's just me. They wrote it. They looked at it and they said, we're going to make a change here and make it different than what people are expecting. And it's going to work perfectly within the story. And I really feel they nailed that, which was a surprise. Every time they surprised me, it was pleasant. Now, it may not surprise you. I can't guarantee that. But every time I thought he would do, not every time, but 3 or 4 times, I thought I knew exactly what was going to happen next. And I was wrong. And I really enjoy that in a movie too, when it's done well, when it's not pulled out of left field or whatever. And I would also say, I actually meant to say this at the beginning, this is my second favorite movie about a man putting on a pair of sunglasses and his whole life changing. It's really something else. There is a great section between Joe Keery's character and Taika, about whether the people want original IPs or just more remakes, sequels, and adaptions. Because Joe Keery is an employee of his who has a connection to Jodie, and they want to make original content. Just keep making new and innovative stuff. Taika Waititi represents the business side of everything, and they want money, and they just want to rehash and regurgitate the same thing over and over and over again. And it was a great moment in there about what do people want. And it was a refreshing perspective with Joe making the argument that people want new stuff. They don't want the same thing over and over again. It's a perspective that's going to be less refreshing when they inevitably make Free Guy 2, which you just know they will. And maybe a little bit when you consider the similarities between this film and Tron. But it's really not a remake, and there's not a whole lot of original ideas, just original ways of telling those ideas, which I think they did in this film. I will also add that I watch movies with what I call two sets of glasses, not counting the real glasses I wear. One of them is what I call SJW goggles. This movie did have a few throwaway SJW lines. Nothing major, nothing that ruined the movie or really the moment. And even one of them was immediately made fun of after it was uttered, which I thought was hilarious. So I appreciated that. And the other one is I look at things through my beliefs. I can't help it. It is a part of who I am. And when I watch things, to a large part, if it bothers me from where my beliefs come from, I enjoy it less. And I would have to say that just personally, again, I love the message, belief-wise, that there's more to life than working just to live. I do believe we were created. I think it's inarguable. I won't get into that too much in my movie reviews. I may do a 2 cents or something like that later on. But I do believe we were created, and we were created to live. Work is something we do, but it's not supposed to be our whole life. We're not supposed to be NPCs. We were meant for more than this. And I like that that's what he discovers one day. He discovers there's more than this. There has to be. And he goes to find it. To find what he loves. And to a large part, and a lot of people think that what they do doesn't affect other people, and it does. And that's actually one of the great messages in this movie too, is what you do matters. It does matter. Outside of your own personal life, it does matter. Like, for instance, the way I raise my child. It does matter to the rest of the world, how I raise her. Because she's going to be a part of the world, and she's going to take that out into the world. So, yes, the things we do in our personal life, they do matter. And that's just the truth of it. And that's what he discovers. And it's a great message. And overall, it's really a great movie. I highly recommend this one. Not to nitpick and compare stuff, but if I had to choose between this and Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I also was doing a review of and that didn't work out, I don't know if I'm going to bother with it now. That movie was pretty weak. Is overall just a big waste of time. There was a few laughs, but overall waste of time. Whereas Free Guy was an extremely enjoyable film. And I will also say that for me personally, I enjoyed the love story, which is where most of the heart comes from. It's small. It's not a major part of the movie, but it's there, and I loved it. And I loved the platonic friendship between Guy and the security guard, Lil Ray Howery. Like I said, it's one of the best moments in the movie. Aside from that, I really think everybody should give this one a try. It's not a midnight matinee because it's too recent, but that's my movie review. So, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys again.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.